I get a call from your friend that we have to cancel our today's engagement because he had to go and attend a funeral of his one of his relatives. It just pushed me back few years back. One fine morning, one of my relatives called me to ask me if I am coming for one of our cousin's funeral in my native place. It's just about 100 kilometers from Kanpur, 2 hours drive. And I answered, I can't. I told him so simply, I want to, I won't be able to come. These words, he again insisted, Zahid, please try and change your program. It's not too far from Kanpur, just 2 hours drive. And I still gave precedence, priority to my engagements, which were really not were so important that those cannot be that couldn't have been rescheduled. My relative insisted that they do not know how much the family of the deceased and all other relatives will be happy and appreciate your gesture. I still did not felt that it was necessary for me to go. I said how I said and ignored it, my friend. But today, after so many years, I feel guilty as I hung up while I had having the kind of regret for not changing my schedule that day. I could have still managed to attend the funeral, my friend. It's very important that in times of sorrow, the gift of your presence has no substitute. Staying away from the funeral did not mean that I mourn them any less than anybody else. But like many other people, I too was consumed that the bereaved were temporarily beyond our comfort. That my presence at the funeral service could bring. It makes no difference. No. A wrong thought. I thought of them as a wall within their grief, blind and deaf to everything around them. On the rare occasions when I did attend a funeral, I could never bring myself to offer condolences to those who stand there or sitting there in that dread all over. Of what values were words? I used to think, sitting there talking good about the person who was departed, what values of these words or these handshakes and these hugging and crying has? Then my turn came to be there crying one day. My father, still active through, though in his 17th, collapsed and died without any warning. It was one of those deaths announced to a family in a ICU ward of a RR hospital, New Delhi. Those corridor, everybody was crying. Suddenly, all you can do is walk back out of your mindset and cry. Now, on a chill but sun bright morning, we were being driven by the ambulance to my native place for his last rites. And that ride, that until that time only other families has taken, it made me a great impact and impression. Already a fragment of the mystery was being lifted for me. I was aware of the awareness, my friend. For one thing, I found myself grateful that it was a right thought coming in my mind. I must not. The importance of such occasions. the grief, the apartments for everyone we passed. You see, while I was driving this thing, I could see whole world as a normal, people passing by, and nobody is bothered about anything. And apartments, everyone we passed, men going about their work, women shopping. My mother said softly, they say I should be thankful that I had him this long, but it's only been like a wall around the mind I have built. So it was for her, maybe for my sister, for my brother, and for myself. No one else could possibly know how brief that grief and the wall will remain. And same thing happened in the funeral. Whole thing changed. My whole impression, the beliefs changed. People coming and going, saying few good words, hugging me, consoling me. One of the first was an elderly man, elderly person I didn't know from a village. He held my hand for a moment and he said, "You won't remember me, but I worked with your father. He was a great man. He is the one who got me the appointment in the particular profession. He was a real gentleman." Just that, and he was gone, and the next came. My friend, inside, where there had been emptiness, I felt a strange glow, and it grew this glow as the line inched by. People coming, consoling me, saying few words. And here was a cousin only 3 days out of a hospital. Uh, my father's old friend's son. And between the familiar faces, there are far too many strangers was also standing there, and they have come to attend the funeral. For my father was a popular man in my village. I was amazed to see a maid who had worked for my parents, for my father, very long time. My father got this maid. Actually, her mother was working for my parents. My father got this girl. She grew up within our family and got her education and married. And then I saw the cornerstone owner, all the shopkeepers, far too many, grocery men, the television repairmen, the plumber. So many people had come to pay their last obeisance. It was though kaleidoscopically many parts of my father's lives were coming together on that day. Then suddenly I was told by someone, "Look who has come," and walking towards us were friends of ours, a couple who hadn't even knew my father, yet they have taken time off from work and had gotten to attend the funeral. They have come far away from driving about 200-300 kilometers from Allahabad, some from Fatehpur. I embraced them warmly. My friend, they said simple, that we wanted to be with you, with me, with us. Now others was approaching, friends who though their words might be awkward or mumbled, brought the priceless gift of themselves. How grateful I was for their presence, and how infrequently I had given mine to them, my friend. The biggest lesson I get uh, is that I did the biggest mistake of not being attending funerals, not these are the times of sorrow, and that was a solemn decision I have taken. Hereinafter, never again I may miss somebody's marriage, birthday party, or anything else. But in times of sorrow, I don't think there can be greater gift than of your presence. Thank you very much.